Okay, so let's continue. We're almost done with the basics, and so we have a little bit more to do, and I want to show you how to do some support with your pieces. Where we left off, we were putting in our small coil pieces to reinforce the piece. Now you can see I have finished that, and so it's really nicely supported, and this is going to be nice and sturdy. Alrighty, now what we have to do is put on the front piece. And so in order to do that, we're going to need to do some supporting so that this stays upright until it gets to a leather hard state. And it's not there yet. It's really more about being plastic. So I took my pattern and I cut this. Remember, this is the piece we had to put together. And now what I'm going to do is I folded up this little piece of newspaper, and I'm going to put that right in here because I want to use this as a support. But I don't want this mark in my clay. So I'm just going to set that right there. Now these are going to be some support on the side here. This is just crumpled up pieces of newspaper. These actually, if you're making things like slab masks, are wonderful pieces to use as an armature. And if for whatever reason you are making something where you have to leave the paper inside, remember, paper burns at 451 degrees. And a low fire clay such as this is fired at 1828 degrees. So when you get your piece of clay back, there will not be any more newspaper or any paper in it. So now, just like we've done before, I'm going to go ahead and score this. Now I want to make sure that I know exactly where to stop my scoring here. So I'm going to set that. And I want to make just a little mark here, so I don't end up roughing up the whole thing and having to do a lot of work in smoothing. Now you will notice this time I have to put this on the outside. The other walls I told you, put them on the top. And the reason why is because this large piece has to cover all of this, and so I have to do it the other way. However, because this is all nice and sturdy, it's not going to affect at all the strength of this piece. So now I'm ready. I've scored it and slipped it, and I've scored this and slipped that. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to press them together, just like that. There we go. Once again, I'm going to use my fingers down here to smooth that out. Get that seam nice and smooth. Camera's kind of in my way, and so I can't put my head all the way over there to see what's going on. Alrighty, I'll have to turn that later when we're doing our finish work. Alright. Same thing here. Alrighty, now it's really important now to make sure that we get those coils on the inside here, because we need strength in how this is going to sit because it's sitting on the face and not on the top of that bottom piece. So it's really, really, really super important that we get those on here. So I probably, for especially the base, will use a bit of a larger one. So instead of worm, I might be going for the size of a night crawler. And you might know what that is, you might not. How about if we say the size of your pinky finger? Okay, there it is in there. Now I have to push it into the clay because I'm not joining it. I'm actually putting it right into that clay. Oh, look at a bell. That means normally we could go home, but we can't. Alrighty. So now we have that part nice and smooth, nice and firm, nice and reinforced. I have to do the two sides. And then I have to do the bottom because I really, 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 really don't want this to pull away. So let me just go ahead and put this side in here. And then we'll just flip it over and I can go back and reinforce that other side later. Because you've seen me do this now. And you know, I'm sure, what you're doing. Okay. And once again, I'm going to smooth that. I'm going to go back and do some more finish work on that too. Okay, let's just put it down like that. Good. And see, here's our seam down here. Now we really don't, this is the reason why we don't usually put this down like this. This is a weak area, very weak area. And so we really need to do a good job smoothing that. This might be one of those times where you would take a tool, and sometimes it would be a nice little butter knife, and you would actually really push that clay in so you're not getting any cracks. All right. Criminies, it's going to take 4 just to get this like this.